Adriana, thank you so much for joining us today at Leaders in Business Sustainability here in Shelter 611 in Utrecht. What an inspiring venue, a World War II hangar where we're now speaking about Fokker Next Generation. And today's event, Leaders in Business Sustainability, has been all about how to evolve our businesses, like you've done, from old Fokker to new Next Generation. And I'm really interested to hear how you've done that, how you're leveraging the 3 pillars of business sustainability around product and service innovation, the business model evolution, and the workforce of the future. So I'd love to hear what your takeaways are today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here today at Shelter 611. So, I think my big takeaways are, especially from the panel, is it was really inspiring to have 2 incredibly hard to decarbonize industries represented. So you had ships and then you had aviation. So I think today really underscored the importance of cross-pollinating between different industries, between different companies, between different types of leaders to make sure that we're taking best practices and learnings and thinking creatively about solutions for business sustainability. And of course, business sustainability, as we've been discussing today, is not just business related to sustainability, but also really about how do we make businesses today sustainable. So I think one of my favorite quotes is the Einstein quote, "The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome." So I think today we really talked a lot about how new ideas are shaping the way that businesses are moving forward. And I do not think that these business leaders will be repeating themselves going forward. So my hope is that everybody took something out of today that can help us all achieve more longevity in the business sphere.
For sure. To me, it was really clear today that there's no lack of innovation. There are great ideas around products and services. And business model evolution is on track. Everybody acknowledged the need to digitalize, the need to start to leverage AI, understand really big data. I still see a huge challenge around the workforce of the future, both in attracting talent, retaining talent, training talent, ensuring we're leveraging the knowledge and know-how of the retiring workforces, and also in leadership and how we become the type of business leaders that people want to commit their careers to. So what do you see as the main traits that people want in their leadership these days?
So I think one of the most important traits of leadership is the ability to foster psychological safety, which means having the ability for people in the organization to dissent. And dissent does not necessarily mean I disagree with what you're doing, but empowering people at every level of the organization, if they have a good idea of how to solve a business problem, how to come up with cost savings or productivity or a new product line, allowing everybody at every level of the business, no matter what their standing is, to come to the table with a good idea and then be credited correctly for it. Because I think sometimes organizations can take credit for ideas that should be credited to the people who come up with them. And I also think that as we move towards the future, especially with AI and all of the disruption that that will bring, and as we evolve these business models, good ideas can come from anywhere. So, there's been a lot of discussion today about how do you find the right workforce? And I think that we need to think as leaders very creatively about who do you bring into the organization. Some of the best people I've ever worked with haven't even gone to university, and they've had just a completely different way of thinking how to do something or approaching a problem. So I think that being open-minded about who you bring into the organization, as long as they are the right character fit and have those characteristics of grit and integrity, they can be the right fit for the organization.
I find that really interesting, coming from a woman with an MBA from INSEAD, to say that your qualification and your university shouldn't matter. And it's intriguing because that's part of the evolution in thinking that we really need to adapt to, ensuring we have the right level of creativity, the right level of diversity across organizations, and making sure that we're hiring people for what they can bring to the company, not just from where they came from. So on a final note, we've had a fantastic day, some really creative thinking, some really great conversations between startups, OEMs, old business, new business. And I want to say thank you again for being part of that conversation and for sharing so openly.
Thank you very much for having me again. Today was fantastic, and I look forward to the next Leaders in Business Sustainability event.